Hello everybody, Hellcracks here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode, 312. And today we're going to be talking about that nasty beast, the Nightstar. Yes, it comes in at 95 tons. And I say beast because this thing can throw down some good amount of firepower downrange. It's one of those mechs that's really, really good until it's not. And we'll discuss why. The Nightstar, 95 tons, it's a 350, has XL engines, so we have a lot of tonnage available for weapons. It has 14 double heat sinks, which is one too many, I believe. With this mech, you probably could get by and throw another weapon on board, or something else. And we have 293 points of armor, 18.5, which is maxed out. So I think you're wasting, 3 points or maybe 5 points. One of the two, I can't remember. At this tonnage. For if you want a half ton less, you're losing a few points of armor, but you're gaining a half ton for something else. And you got a reason why I'm talking about that in a second. Now, the weapons loadout. This is what makes it a really good fire support mech that you stay in the back and just plug away with. We have a Gauss rifle in the right arm, a Gauss rifle in the left arm. We have a medium pulse laser in the right arm, a medium pulse laser in the left arm. Okay. We got some severe amount of tonnage in the arms, ready to send stuff downrange. All right, we have an ERPPC in the right torso as your backup weapon, but when you think about it, it just perfectly works well with the Gauss rifles for sending fun downrange. In the right torso, we have 3 tons of ammo for the Gauss rifle. In the left torso, we have 3 tons of ammo for the Gauss rifle. So we got 6 tons. So 24 shots. That is a lot of firepower that can go downrange. This thing will stay in the game. If it doesn't get shot at or damaged or anything, they're forcing it to withdraw. 24 turns of damage. That you do the math and see how much that is. That's killing things. And then we have a small laser in the head. It's like, hey, let's just throw something in there for giggles. Also in the center torso, we have another ton of ammo for the Gauss rifle. So really, you got 28 turns of ammunition for each rifle. Yeah, that is good. That's very good. So it's one of those mechs where the only time it ever seems to move is when it needs to reposition itself to continually throw giant nickel slugs down range, which makes it a really good mech. I've played this mech many times. I've fought against this mech many times, and it has plenty of pros and cons. And the pros are, this thing can dish out 40 points of damage a turn. So if you want one of those mechs that fires first at a target, this is it. This is the one that you fire first always, because it's going to open up some holes probably someplace. And if by chance, let's say, what's the average roll you use? It's 6, 7, and 8 when you're rolling on the chart. Left torso, right torso, center torso, that's typically where you're going to hit. It's not a guarantee, but that's on an average. And I've had times where I'm using this mech where I threw everything into one torso. And it's like, oh, right torso, right torso, right torso. All 3 hit. So 40 points into the right torso. And you think about it, even this mech has 32 points of armor in its torso. So the first 2 slugs go in, hit, bang, bang. Okay, we'd say you're firing back at a Nightstar with a Nightstar. And you happen to say both hit the right torso. It still has armor left. Only 2 points. It's that third hit that may hit. And if you're firing a lance at something, you just tore a bunch of armor off and you already have a chance of critical. And then your follow-on mechs, let's say you got a missile boat, you got a another mech that may have a PPC or AC-10 or something of that nature, or an LBX. And go back to where we were talking, was it the Emperor? I think it was. If you have an Emperor, which a couple LBX cannons, and they're saying they're going to fire a cluster, and they follow up, and those other 3 mechs just rip the armor off of something, and that one follows up with a cluster shot, you're going to be rolling crits, and that mech may not be around. You may crit it to death. So that's the nice thing about, that is one of the best things about the Nightstar that I really like, is it can punch holes and stuff. Most of the time, it's like kind of scattered around, but your other mechs in your lance, hopefully, are helping out. And we always put a decent mech pilot in one of these things. Now, one of the drawbacks slightly is this one comes in about 2,400 battle value, which is a pretty expensive chunk of your lineup. And if you put a good pilot in there, that's going up even more. So there's something to think about. But you want something that hits. And this thing, when it hits, it hurts. That's the good thing. Now, one of the cons is, like I said, it's a great mech until it's not, is that if it gets focused on and it gets the armor tore off one of the torsos, you got XL engines, and like any Intersphere XL engine mech, you take out the torso, it's done, and then you just lost a whole bunch of firepower. So it's kind of like one of those mechs you like to shepherd and keep it back a ways. So giving your opponent something better to shoot at with a better firing solution. It's like the bait and switch type of deal. While this thing is just doing nice amount of damage to him. All right, so that's one of the cons. And the other one is it's still a 3.5 moving mech. It's slow. So you run it around with something like a Banshee or a Atlas, you know, that kind of thing, where they're all moving slow. You may throw something in there that like a quick draw or something like that, or you have a 5.8 moving mech, or even like a Wolverine or something like that, or better yet, a Phoenix Hawk being your eyes and ears type of deal. So there's that. Okay, which we'll get back to something else in a second. Now, there are a few other versions of this mech running around. We got the 9FC. The one we just talked about is the 9J, the 9FC. This one is configured with greater speed. It still replaces the Gauss rifles with a pair of LBX 10s, which, okay, they're not as hard hitting, but you know, you have the option of doing shotgunning with the cluster munitions. So if you're running a lance of these things and you have 2 of them, maybe one of them might be the 9FC. All right, just think about that. Now, it has plenty of ammunition to go with it. It's like 2 tons each, I think it is. And the small laser has been replaced with a medium pulse laser, and giving it 3, and the pulse lasers have been downgraded to 3 medium lasers, which I don't have a problem with. Going with standard medium lasers, because personally I think medium lasers are a little more versatile, gives you some more options, a little bit more range, and the damage output's the same. And one of the things I do like about this one, it's now a slightly fast mover, so now you're a 4.6, so you're up to speed some by downgrading your weapon some. And it's one of those things that you can get behind. It's like the Banshee. You can have a 4.6 moving Banshee with hardly any weapons on board, the standard version with the out XLs, or you can have a 3.5 one with more firepower, slower but more firepower. So it's the same trade-off that you have, and this one comes in a little over 1,900 battle value. It actually is not a bad companion to the standard 9J, because you got the 9J punching holes. This one can still put holes in you as you're closing, and then you shotgun them and just crit them. So there's that. Now, there is the 9SS version. This is a Solaris version. This one is kind of a nasty one. It's like I've run up against this one, and I've run this one before, and you suddenly show up and you got the long-range firepower has been replaced with a Ultra 20 autocannon, AC-20 Ultra, and an LBX 20. Yes. So if you can get the double pumping Ultra to both hit, there's some big holes that be punched in, and you follow up with an LBX 20 shot cluster. Typically you're going to have 12 hits on an average. Sometimes you get 16. Every once in a while you're even lucky, you might get 20. And yeah, that will really hurt somebody. And there's odds are you might even get a couple pilot hits out of the deal. Can't guarantee it, but it can happen. And each gun has 3 tons of ammunition, which is good. Now, it also removed half a ton of armor, which I don't have a problem with removing half a ton of armor on this thing, and giving it 3 jump jets. So it's now mobile. So you can get over those obstacles if necessary. I do like jump jets because there are times when it's like, gee, it may take me 2 turns to get through this heavy terrain with something like this, or I may just jump over it and get past it. Now, or jump into something that gives you an opportunity. All right, so there's that. 3 medium pulse lasers back up the autocannon. All right, so this one comes in a little about 21.5 battle value. Now, we keep seeing medium pulse lasers on this thing. I typically, in most of the games I've ever played, I've never ever fired the medium pulse lasers. Sometimes I get into range if I had a standard medium laser and I'd be able to hit. But I've never, hardly ever get this thing so close that I need those pulse lasers. So, to be honest, I wonder, now, if you're looking at it in the form of Solaris mech, where you're point blank range all the time, yeah, that's fine. It works. Where you can jump over, get in behind somebody, and open up a can of worms or something like that. I get it. But on an open battlefield, personally, I'd rather have something that shoots about the same as my autocannons. Then we have the 10D. This one uses light Gauss rifles and Clan ER large laser. The Clan ER PPC is mounted in the right torso. Okay, so this is, the head is a medium pulse laser, and it has 16 double heat sinks and coolant pods in case of extra heat, and it has a case on board. So this one is kind of an interesting little thing. It's kind of trying to make it like a Marauder. So you got 2 light Gauss rifles. They got some decent range, do some decent damage, and you have a Clan ER large laser and a Clan PPC. So you do have something that's similar to a hole puncher with the Clan PPC. That's doing 15 points of damage. Personally, in some ways, I wondered, is it possible to have 2 Clan PPCs? That would have been better. So there's that, because you got all this extra tonnage that could have easily been used to upgrade it, and that would have still been a decent firepower mech. And this one comes in over, due to using Clan weapons, around 25.5 battle value. That's getting pretty expensive. Then we have the Brubaker version. This one is just all Clan weapons. This one's kind of nasty. I've seen this one on the battlefield. It has 2 Clan Gauss rifles and 3 Clan large pulse lasers and an ER small laser, and it comes in about 28.5 battle value. It's expensive, but it hurts. Yeah, you're looking at something that can dish out some good damage. Yeah, you're looking at, what, 60? Yeah. That's a pretty decent amount that's in 10-point or 15-point shots. And if you put a decent pilot in there, yeah, you're getting really expensive then. But, yeah, It's nice. And then you got Nightstar Holt. This one, personal mech of George Holt of the Hilltoppers. Interesting name. It's fitted with a Clan Gauss rifle in each arm. It has a ER-PPC and a large pulse laser and an ER small laser and an ECM suite. And triple strength. Geez, if you're going to run a little hot, you might as well put triple strength on. I get it. So 95-ton mech. That's 19 point times 2. Yeah. That's a good kick. You're kicking people's legs off. An Atlas. You hit an Atlas, they go, oh, that hurt. It's like, where's the ground? Oh, it's coming up and meet me. So, yeah, there's an interesting thing. Now, when you look at it, what could you do to this mech, the standard version? I personally would consider dropping maybe half a ton and upgrade the small laser to a flamer so you have something to deal with infantry. Or, since it's really the heat sinks, you got 14 double heat sinks on the 9J, you don't need them. You can drop that down to 13 and take that 1 ton that you have, and there's your flamer if you want to. Or you could upgrade to take a small laser off, and then you have ECM suite on board. There's that option. Or you can take that 1 heatsink and convert it into a C3 slave. Now, one thing I always like doing is like taking those 2 medium pulse lasers and upgrade them to 4 medium lasers. So when you get in close, you can shut off the PPC and fire the 4 medium lasers, and you're still running cool. All right, so you got that. There's something to think about. But overall, the Nightstar, it's a heck of a beast. It's good until it's not. But we know why it's not, and you can sort of try to mitigate that problem as best you could, and it's a good fire support mech. That's all I got to say on it. That's the Nightstar. If you don't have one, get one. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. This is Hellcrex, and we'll talk to you later. Hellcrex out.